Hey everyone, I'm James Conrad with Team MVP. I'm gonna do a mid-season bag check for y'all. Starting off with putters. These are my putting putters. I switched to the Nomad pretty much as soon as they got PDGA approved, and I've been loving them. They fit my hand perfectly. I've got a couple stiff plastic Electron firm, then a couple Electron soft. I've mostly been putting with these soft ones. It took me a little bit to get comfortable, especially from Circle 2, but in the last couple months I've started to feel super comfortable with them, and they've just been seeming to go in from pretty much everywhere. Been loving it. And as far as throwing putters go, I'm bagging two molds right now. I'm bagging Envies and Entropies. In both, this one's probably the most famous disc in my bag, I'd say now. An Electron firm Envy. It's pretty stiff. It's gotten quite beat up, and it really likes to kind of drift slowly to the right if I throw it flat. If I hit it with some hyzer, it likes to pop up for a nice straight flight. Yeah, I've been loving it. And then this Cosmic Neutron Envy is quite a bit more stable. It can handle a lot more torque. I can force it on a little bit of anhyzer and trust it to work back towards flat. Or it's great for kind of a high stally hyzer shot for me. And yeah, this pink Cosmic plastic, just gorgeous too. Been loving these two Envies. Similar with the Envies, I have two Entropies. I have a base plastic, an Electron firm Entropy. This thing has really been a pretty good workhorse for me. It started out really overstable, but as it's beat in, it's become really straight. It can pretty much handle any angle. I'd say I throw it most for like a baby hyzer release, and it just kind of flips up to pretty flat. It holds pretty dead straight. I'll go with the Entropy a little more than the Envy, especially if the wind starts to pick up. Seems to handle the windy conditions a little better. And yeah, this base plastic, the Electron firm, really likes to grab the ground and land soft. Then I have a Plasma one. This one has been my ace disc this year. I've gotten aces with it at the Masters Cup. I got one at Worlds. Just the other day in the Celebrity Pro-Am, we had a little ace off at the lunch. It was for $500 to charity, and this one actually hit a tree and just dropped in vertically right in the basket. Yeah, Plasma Entropy, this thing's awesome. Moving on to the mid-ranges, I've never bagged a ton, but I've been really enjoying these mids. I got the new Hex in the bag. This thing is a little understable to start and is great for hyzer flips, or I've been throwing it for like a nose up, like gentle turnover shot, especially if the ceiling's a little low for me to throw a putter. But yeah, the Hex seems like a really good addition to the bag. It's got a similar hand feel to the Reactor, which I've been throwing a lot. And I've been digging this Glow plastic. It's pretty overstable, really torque resistant. I can hit it as hard as I want, and I've been loving it for like the 350 to 400 foot distance range. Yeah, these two complement each other well. And then the third mid-range I've been bagging is the Pyro. This thing's really overstable. I pretty much only bust it out in really windy conditions. Just a workhorse in the wind, or if you're needing a little bit of a skip or a really hard flare out of a mid-range disc. Moving on to the fairway drivers. I bagged quite a few fairways. I think that the mid-speed discs, like 6 to 9 speed, are some of my favorite to throw. On the understable end, I have a Relay. This thing is sweet. I've been really liking it on long holes with like really tight gaps, especially if it's asking for like a hyzer stand-up shot. Yeah, the Relay it's a little understable, but can really handle a lot of power and a lot of torque, and it doesn't get too squirrely, so very useful fairway driver. I've also been bagging the Volt, the Bindi James. This thing, it's fun to throw with a picture of yourself on the disc, but apart from that, it's really just really versatile, really controllable. I'd say I throw it most for a pretty flat release. I can get a little bit of turn out of it and expect it to fade back, but it can handle a pretty heavy anhyzer or pretty steep hyzer releases for some really sweet flights, like slow banking hyzers or high stally anhyzers. Really versatile and really comfortable in the hand. I also bag a couple of Teslas. I don't think I lean on these quite as often as the Volt, but if I feel like I need a little more distance and I still need that overstability, I'll go with this Neutron Tesla. Also just feels really good in the hand. I get really clean releases out of it and can count on the stability to come in late in the flight for a pretty hard fade. And on the other side of that, I have a Fission Tesla, and this one's gotten pretty understable. So between that Neutron and this Fission, Depending on what I'm looking for out of a 9-speed, I can get pretty much anything going. This Fission Tesla I've been using for hyzer flips. Similar to the Relay, just I can get probably 50 to 80 feet further out of this Tesla, so depending on the shot, that's kind of how I decide between the Relay or this understable Tesla. I also bag an Insanity. I'd say it flies a little similar to this Tesla, the Fission Tesla. It's got a very similar feel in the hand as well. It comes out super clean. This one's actually one of my favorite roller discs. It's not super flippy to where I'm gonna like hyzer flip it into a roller, but I can just kind of force it into a roller and get a pretty predictable, like slow stand up and late flip on those rollers. So awesome disc and just gorgeous looking too. And then rounding out my fairway drivers, I have a couple really overstable. I lean on the Fireball a lot. This thing's so predictable. It's really versatile. You know, I can hit it on hyzer, I can hit it on a hard anhyzer and expect it to come back. The windier the conditions get, the more I lean on the Fireball. I can definitely trust this thing as the wind picks up, and then on a nice calm day, I'll still find myself using it, especially if I want that ground play, if I want to hit it low and hard and get a big flare skip, I'll go with the Fireball. The motion is pretty similar to the Fireball. This one's even more overstable though. So like I was saying, when the wind picks up, I go to the Fireball. I'll also go with this motion if I'm not sure if the Fireball will even be enough. This thing's super flat. It's a plasma plastic and a little on the stiff side for plasma, but yeah, it doesn't matter how, I can throw this thing on a roller angle and it's gonna fight out of it. So definitely a useful disc. I've even thrown a few thumbers with it, so definitely a utility kind of disc and a good one to have in the bag. Moving on to the distance drivers. The Fission Photon's been one of my workhorses throughout this season so far. I really like the grip on these Fission Photons, and I love the flight out of them. This one's gotten a bit beat end where it really likes to flip up from hyzer. Up at the elevation we were playing at in Utah, this was one of the straightest distance drivers I've ever thrown. Back closer to sea level, I've been using it for distance shots that I need to finish to the right or that I need to stand up pretty late in the flight. So definitely on the understable side for me, but just all around great distance driver. I can throw it high and get a ton of glide out of it. I can punch it low and get that nice hyzer stand up to a straight flight. Been really good for me. And the Neutron Panic is another one that I've been leaning on a lot. If the wind's a little up or if I'm going for a big hyzer shot or a big flex shot, I've been really loving the Panic. I'd say it's quite overstable. It can handle pretty much as much anhyzer as I want to put on it, and great for a slow panning left to right shot, or even like a higher shot that'll flex out and stall back to the left, or just a straight up power hyzer. The Panic's been really good for me. Depending on the course, I'll sometimes throw in a few extra distance drivers. One that I've been bringing out occasionally is the Tantrum. This thing's a 14 speed, 14 and a half speed maybe. And this one's got a nice dome to it. So if I feel like I just need maximum distance, if I need to try to push one close to 600 feet, I may go for the Tantrum. Maybe not my most reliable shot, but it's fun just to rip it, give it some air, give it some height, and just really let the disc fly. It likes to do a big flex line for me, like a long drift to the right, and then if I give it enough air, it'll come out to the left at the end for max distance shots. And one I've been trying to work in a little bit lately is the Dimension. Another really fast disc, definitely more overstable than the Tantrum, but similar to the Panic, just trying out some new options, and the Dimension seems like it gets a lot of distance on a forced Annie flex line. So I think this could be something that definitely starts seeing some more game time soon. Thank you guys for tuning in to this In the Bag with James Conrad. Hope this gives you a little more insight to what I've been throwing out on the course and what you can expect to continue seeing